Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today I'm going to talk about top baits I'm going to have on the deck when I'm spring fishing for largemouth bass. These are the baits that I'm going to first go to when I'm either searching for bass or trying to get a bite, trying to get numbers of bites, or just trying to find that big bite. I've got all different kinds of baits that I'm going to go through. Probably only about between about 5 to 8 baits probably, because each one has its own situation that it excels in. So the first one I'm going to go after is, I guess first of all, these are my top baits, so this is stuff that works for me. I've had a lot of success with these baits, just to let you guys know. I've had a lot of success with these baits, that's why I'm talking about them. And these baits might not be the best baits for your body of water, so just take it with a grain of salt and just experiment in your body of water. If you want, try to test these out too when you're out spring fishing. If they don't work, just mix it up a little bit and find the one that does work. These are the ones that I have a lot of success with when I'm springtime bass fishing. Now the first one I'm going to start off with is, I'm going to go with, and now these aren't done in any kind of order. Now I'm going to grab these off my deck because I'm rigged and ready to go for spring bass fishing. I am going to head out the next weekend, in about a week, I guess, in about a week, and I'm going to fish for the whole weekend. I'm going to head south for, not way south, but I'm going to head, part way south and get some fishing in. I'm just chomping at the bit here to catch some bass. But the first bait that I'm going to talk about is the jerkbait. Now, one thing you guys are going to notice, if you've watched my channel before and anything with me is the jerkbait beforehand, usually I'm throwing the Googan Squad Scout, the larger model with the LG bone color. Now you don't have to throw the brand, it's not brand specific. For me, it's color specific. And it's LG bone color is the color that I have a ton of success on, whether I'm spring fishing or wherever, all year long. Sometimes in the spring, I will change the color to, like, say, an orange or a pink, just randomly, or perch. Maybe it's a little bit more pressured. But a lot of times when I'm going to go grab a jerkbait color, it's LG bone. This is not LG bone. This is a new one from Rapala X-Rap. It's the from Rapala. It's a Rapala X-Rap, but it's called I believe it's called Blue Frost, and it's very similar to LG bone with the blue top, and the translucent side, and then the chartreuse belly. I just think this one has a little bit more chartreuse than the LG bone, which is okay. That's kind of what I want. And then this one has a little bit more of a flash on the side of the body, which is also what I'm looking for. Plus the other jerkbait that I was throwing, the Googan Squad one, it doesn't have a feather tail. I really do like this feather tail. I feel like it, when it's paused, that feather tail's moving, that triggers them to bite sometimes. Maybe not all the time. A lot of times when they're biting this, they're in a feeding mode. So this is one of the baits that I'm going to be grabbing springtime fishing, and I have a lot of success with these, with the jerk baits too. So and you can tell if you've seen my past videos, caught a lot of 4 or 5 pounders on them as well. The next one is some of these baits you're gonna recognize from the most latest video or two, and this one is the spinnerbait. Depending on the water clarity, spinnerbait's going to be the one to go. And in the weather conditions, if it's really windy, rainy, I'm going to be throwing the spinnerbait or a bladed jig. I do have one rigged ready to go. I'll show you that in a minute. But the spinnerbait with the orange kicker blade is going to be one of my first baits that I'm going to pull. Maybe not one of the first baits for the springtime, but it's going to be one of the baits that I have rigged and ready to go for springtime bass fishing. I just feel like this orange kicker blade helps draw them in, and I really do. I have a lot of success with the white chartreuse in the springtime. It's hard for me to personally explain it, but I've tried a bunch of different colors, but personally, this gets it done. It really does. So the next bait, I'm gonna put this back here. The next bait is going to be the bladed jig. Bladed jig, again, like the other, like most recent video, is white chartreuse. And you know, the color can change. You know, it all depends on the body, your water body, body of water. I think what else I would do is I thought I had one pre-rigged, but I don't. You know, a green pumpkin would work too, green pumpkin color, or a black and blue. But personally, again, I've had a lot of success on white chartreuse. I've actually thrown green pumpkin and a black and blue bladed jig in the springtime, and wasn't getting very many bites, but I could see the fish there. And then I would throw this out, and it's like they hammer it right away. So I'm fishing, and this happened in a lake where I have no shad. The only thing I have is crappie and bluegills. So I mean, maybe that's what they're thinking, and depending on my water clarity, that could maybe, you know, represent that a little bit. I don't know, but this gets it done. Bladed jig, white chartreuse color. That's definitely one that's always on my deck in the springtime, and I'm also throwing this one in the summertime on rivers as well. Got a lot of success on that in the rivers. Now, this next bait is a bait that I'm gonna throw when I'm hunting for a bite, when I'm hunting for fish and trying to find them. And this also happened in one of my previous videos. I was struggling. I was on the struggle bus big time, and I was throwing a bunch of different baits, and I thought, okay, you know what? I'm done. I'm gonna get my confidence bait out, and I'm gonna start moving and covering water until I find some fish. And that's this bait right here. So I got a 4.8 paddle tail. This is the Pro Blue color with a VMC underspin, belly weighted underspin. And this thing's weedless, and I like to throw it in and out of weeds, weed cover. And since I got on fluorocarbon line, I don't have to keep it in the weed cover. I can throw it in and out of weed cover, and I can throw it out wherever. And I've got, this helps me narrow down or find cover water to find the fish. And I've proven it in a couple of my videos as well. So this is also another bait that I'm gonna have on the deck, ready to go. And it's just been a proven fish catcher for me, day in and day out. It's not just in the springtime, and that's the same thing with a lot of these baits. So a lot of these baits, you know, you're not restricted to just springtime bass fishing. You can use these baits throughout the year, just depending on the water clarity, and most of these are going to be able to do that. Next bait. Before I get into, you know what? No, the next one I'm gonna go with the jig. So the jig, and in my previous video I did talk about a June bug color jig with the trailer, and that is 100% true. And I've got a June bug trailer as well. I just don't have June bug jig right now rigged up. But this is also my next favorite, black and blue. 100%, that's what I'm going to be throwing, black and blue with a black and blue trailer. And I've got this on heavy line, so I'm throwing it in and out of weed cover. You don't have to put it on heavy line, you can put it on fluorocarbon line. So like I said, you know, you can probably put this on, say, 17 pound, 20 pound fluorocarbon line, throw it in and out of weed cover. And depending on how clear your water is and how much pressure those fish are getting, that might be your better bet. But for me, I'm throwing on black braided line. And once this braided line, so right now it looks gray, but when it gets wet, it's black. And when I look at it in the water, I just have more confidence because I feel like it camouflages better than, you know, the green braid, or when your green braid sun fades and turns white. This sun fades a little bit and turns gray, but when it gets wet, it actually goes back to black. This is my second season on this braid. Actually, this is about to be my third season, and it's working out very good. I am very impressed with it, and it's just the Bass Pro XPS black braid. Now, there's a lot of places out there that sell black braid, so I mean, try out your favorite brand or whatever. But anyways, this jig is one of the jigs that I'm going to be throwing out there for springtime bass fishing. This is, like I said, you know, before my previous videos, I've got a lot of confidence in the black and blue color, and it just catches me a lot of fish. I mean, there's not really much else I can say about it. And then we're gonna go into the big baits. You know what? We're not gonna go into the big baits. We're gonna stay with a little bit of smaller baits. We're gonna go finesse. Now you know, if you watched my last video, this bait was in, not this last video, but a couple videos before, but it doesn't always reflect, you know, the only worm. Kind of gave it away there. It's the wacky worm. Okay, the wacky worm is going to be one of the baits that I'm going to have tied on 100% all the time in the springtime, because sometimes they just don't want that moving bait. If you see a fish there, you want to know if it's going to bite it. So a lot of times, if I see that, I will throw the wacky worm out there, and typically they'll react to it. A lot of times it's probably smaller fish. That's okay. It's, you know, you want to see what it is. You want to see what's out there. So I'll throw a wacky worm out there. This is green pumpkin. I have, you know, the merthiolate worm, the pink worm, you know, the trick worms ready to go, because sometimes, you know, they just want a different color, and that's okay. Just to have them ready to go, and all you gotta do is just take it off here like that. There you go, and just clip on the new one, clip on the other one, and you're ready to go. It's that easy. You're not ruining your plastic. So this is a finesse bait, one of the finesse baits that I will have ready to go for springtime. I try not to carry too many baits on spinning rods, because a lot of times I'm doing a lot of power fishing in the springtime, and I'm trying to find those bigger fish. Now, a big fish on a finesse rod setup is a lot of fun, so don't count that out. That's why I've got that one there. But you probably won't see me, you know, throwing a jig and minnow in the springtime. Unless things get really super tough, I'm probably not going to be doing that. But that's my finesse setup, pretty much the only finesse setup, other than maybe a bait finesse setup with a small spy bait. But like I said, I'm trying to stay with some of the medium to larger style baits to catch some of the bigger fish. Springtime is one of the best times of year you're going to catch a possible PB, so that's what I'm looking for. Now, next one, it's a bait that you've seen on a bunch of my videos lately, so I feel like I keep repeating myself like a broken record, but we got the 7-inch. This is the 7-inch dangerous swim bait, soft bodied, albino colored, and it's on a weedless hook, a belly weighted weedless hook, and I am throwing this. I'm slow rolling it through heavy cover, all of weed edges, and down, you know, a little bit deeper on points. But this is one of the baits that I'm always going to have rigged up, especially after one of my other videos where I was searching around finding fish, and I finally found some fish, and they seemed like a little bit bigger fish, and I started throwing this bait on and started catching 4s and 5s. It was a lot of fun. Ever since then, it's like an addiction. It was like a drug. So this bait definitely always on my deck for springtime bass fishing. And you can play around with different colors too. You know, for me, my confidence is white. This white, the albino color. You know, you can see, you know, the teeth marks on it, hopefully. But there's a lot of teeth marks on it. It's just been thrashed, and it's holding up pretty good. And there are other sizes too that will work out pretty well. I've got a smaller size rigged up right now, a 5-inch, and you know, it's gonna. I got a good feeling about it. It's gonna do some damage, but this is definitely one that I'm gonna have ready to go. And we're stuck. Okay, now I've been getting into some of the bigger glide baits and wake baits lately. So I've been catching a lot of really good fish on them too, and getting some really hammer strikes off of them. So that's what this is. Got a glide bait right here, and this one happens to be in like a sunfish color. This is a custom bait by you know, a lure lady, and you know, I'll put her website right down here. But not really talking about bait specific, just or brand specific, just the bait. But the the bait, I mean, these glide baits, they just get hammered pretty well, and it doesn't have to be a glide bait either. It can be like a more of a more like a two jointed swim bait, hard swim bait. This is also kind of a glide bait style, but it's got 2 joints instead of 1. But it has more of a swimming S curve. This one, and they swim a little bit differently. But this glide bait, the single jointed glide baits, I really like to throw. They get hammered big time in the spring. Also, what I've been getting into as well are the wake baits as well. I love the wake baits. Just do a slow roll, pause, and slow roll, pause, and then you can do a speed it up or whatever. But you're gonna see those, rigged up and thrown this spring from my boat deck, because they get hammered just big time. So this is also another bait that you're definitely going to see on my deck this spring. All right, guys, so that's what's on my deck actually right now. I do have a couple other smaller baits, a couple other experimental baits, but it's stuff that I don't rely on. It's just stuff that I plan on just trying. But these are the baits that I rely on day in, day out when I'm going spring bass fishing, especially when I'm trying to find fish. And once I do find the fish, and I know there's a bunch of them there, that's when I will take out new baits and I will expand my knowledge on different baits and get comfortable with different baits. So that's what I'll end up doing. But guys, these are my comfort, or my confidence baits for springtime. I know you guys might have some a little bit different. If you do, throw them down in the comments. I love to hear it. I love to hear from you guys. Guys, thanks again for sticking around through this video. I appreciate each and every one of you. If you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel, and we'll catch you in the next video.